Greetings, humanity, and welcome to Channel Otherdoc. I'm Jim, I use he, him pronouns, and this is the Inner Circle, one of our story arcs in our Waking Nightmares campaign of Don't Rest Your Head, a game by Fred Hicks of Evil Hat Productions. This is a supernatural horror game in which the Insomniac characters have been awake for so long they've developed strange abilities and can freely interact with a realm of living nightmares. The audio struggles continue, please let me know if anything suddenly, if the music or the voices or what have you become too loud quite suddenly, or too soft, and I will do my best to correct on the fly. But in the meantime, let us go around and say hi to everybody, find out who they are and who they are playing today. Unfortunately, we do not have Olivia with us. Olivia is doing real life stuff at the moment, but we wish her the very best and hope to see her back soon. We will now go around and say hi to everyone, starting with Alyssa. Hello.
Hello, I am your friendly virtual spinner of yarns and teller of tall tales, better known on the internet as Shawl Tales, and tonight I am playing Lila Mendelsohn, the stressed out songstress who's not nearly as good a gambler as Olivia's character Dawson, and has just led the entire party into a trap.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
You just threw something into the mix that I had forgotten.
That'll be just fine.
That's true.
But now let us head over to Nash. Hello.
Oh, hi. My name's Nash. I go by Theater Nerd on the internet everywhere. Yeah, I'm happy to be back, I think. We'll see how tonight goes before I make that decision. But I'm feeling much better than last week, so onward and upward.
This is good. Very glad. Now we will once again head over to Hannah. Hello.
Hi, I am Hannah, Animation Art on Twitter, Animation Studios everywhere else. And tonight I'm playing Luca, who has just woken up, and that is very bad. Do not like. So, here we are. Things are great. Can't wait.
Yes, I'm sure everything's going to be just fine. Now we have a guest. We have a guest with us today. This is our overall two-group campaign's second official crossover, technically, as we welcome back, for the first time in the Inner Circle, Hope. Hello.
Hello, it is wonderful to be here with all my fellow Insomniacs. It is good to be in the Mad City, especially during this switching hour. I'm Pope. I get to play the Stranger of Stranger and Associates. And it'll be interesting to see, as there is a history here with a number of individuals, and the city is just come alive. So there's so much to do, so much to see, so many screams to elicit.
Yes. So many. What can one do with them all? I guess we'll find out. But before we find out, let me go ahead and close these 5,000 windows that I currently have open, because that won't help me at all. Then after I do that, right there, let's see. Yes. Before we get going, as a reminder, like we do with other games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, hold up a card, make an X symbol, we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil. So it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know that we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think, maybe that might have been a little too much. Then everyone else can respond to that, again with an X and N or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anyone needs. As a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game has the potential for discussions of physical and mental debilitation, insomnia, death, law enforcement, nightmares, body horror, being stalked and chased by supernatural beings, and other horrific themes. The game has mechanics related to states arising from sleep deprivation, referred to in-game as exhaustion, madness, scars, and fight-or-flight responses, but places the expression of those states squarely in the hands of the players. If you want to see that, in chat you can type !DRYH, that's Don't Rest Your Head, CW for content warning, and that will show up. That should also be on rotation. I'm just going to double check to make sure it is. Yes, it is. So that's going to be coming up on rotation, and as we go. Let's see what else. Finally. Just a reminder that we have an open door policy. And so that means that any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It is just a game, and mental health is always more important. So, let's see. What did we have? Where were we? What was happening? So last time, we had a desire to go to the grid as enumerated by Lila. Lila was getting directions from somebody, this was essentially a thing that was everyone thought this was probably a good idea because Lila's in touch with somebody. Everyone was very trusting, Lila was following this arrow that had come up in an app on her phone for a place called Mad City Exteriors. This was located in a neighborhood called The Grid. The Grid is basically kind of a part cyberpunk nightmare, part sort of Geiger-esque thing that shows up from time to time. It's its own. It is both a nightmare and an entire district of the city. So they went just to the edge of the grid, to this area where the holograms were out, telling folks what wonderful lives they could have if they would just buy this one product. They went there, and they went to this building where Mad City Exteriors, new location. They go in, and turns out, at the last moment, Lila receives a little notice in her earphone that has been blocked up until this point. She has been communicating with a being known as the Broadcast. The Broadcast let Lila know, if you've been getting messages from anyone, it's not me. And as a result, the trap closes. The cyborg behind the desk, basically, having scanned them, then brings in robots, a couple of robots rolling in from behind them, and basically stating that in order for the grid to survive properly, they had to make a little bit of a recent temporary alliance with someone, and that someone is approaching, for they can hear the sounds of the ticking clocks. Lila Mendelsohn has gotten herself into a lot of trouble for past visits to this city, the Mad City, the place where people go when they can't sleep. And they start seeing things, and then those things start seeing them back. And we're now going to find out what happens as this as this whole thing unfurls. So, the first thing you're going to notice is that you came in, there were 4 of you running into this building. And Dawson just sort of winks out. This, after the chimes have rung 13, but it's not that. It seems that it winks out in the way that a projection would. The person behind the desk says, "Forgive our ruse. One of your number turned away prior to entering. It was necessary.
Give her back.
We do not have her." And he just sort of raises a hand, and as the two robots just sort of have rolled into place between you and the exit. Now the one remaining exit, because all the other doors that were in this place are gone, all the customers in this place are gone, they too were projections. And you can hear the clockwork coming. What are we doing?
Lila? What the hell did you just get us into? Nothing isn't an answer because it's clearly something.
Oh, yeah, we're in a bit of a pickle.
Luca, any idea what's going on?
No, when the clock it strike, the city rearrange itself.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I have no idea what happened.
All I know
Welcome to the
is
switching hour.
Dawson is gone, and I don't like this. I don't like any of this.
We'll go find her. First, we're gonna have to fight our way out.
Please remain calm. It is the best way.
Over my dead body will I be calm.
Hey, now nobody has to die. Why are we needing to fight you? We can just leave. Yes?
No. There is, you can definitely hear, it sounds like a, now you can basically, this vehicle pulling up outside, you can hear this sort of, this thing, it sounds like an old vehicle coming to a stop, and you can hear boots hitting the ground. Are we doing anything?
Jim.
Mm-hmm.
So, how does one go about using their madness talent? Because I feel like my perfect insight would be kind of useful right now.
Well, you tell me what it is you want to do. I tell you the minimum number of madness dice you will need to roll to accomplish that, and then I'll, as with all other rolls, I'll tell you what the pain is, and then we roll off.
So my ultimate goal is to get out of here with the least bloodshed possible.
Mm-hmm. Good. Now I'm going to need something a little more specific than that in order to know kind of how we want to do this. How do you want this? What are you looking for?
I would like to find a way out before whatever is coming in comes in.
Okay.
Do we know what's out there? Like, is whatever is out there something that Luca has seen before?
Yes, Luca has the thing that's out there. Yes, you recognize these are the Clockwork Policemen. They come out of District 13 at 13 o'clock. They go and they usually raid the looking for people who are awake. And then, sometimes they're led by someone by an officer called Officer Talk, and sometimes he takes out a warrant on specific people who have vexed him particularly.
Lila, you feeling a little guilty right now? You are in the presence of a cop. Well, I'm not a cop, I guess, technically. So I suppose you could lie to me.
I am not under oath.
I just want to make sure I resolve this madness talent use before we proceed. So, Lana, you are looking for just some sort of path out, the best path out without anyone getting hurt, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to say that for this situation, this is a very fast, very high tension situation. There's a lot you don't know about the situation.
Right.
So there's going to be a lot of guesswork involved.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to say that this would be, we're going to need something like, I'm going to say at least 3 madness dice to be rolled for something like this. Probably more like 4 madness dice, really, to be honest. You're going to need at least 4. I revise. You're going to need at least 4 madness dice for this. The pain of this. Let's see who you are up against. You are up against Officer Talk, who is carrying a warrant, not for your arrest specifically. Let's see. Oh, right. I just put slashes. I need to actually look and see the circumstance so that I might properly do this. It's going to be 6, 7, 8, or 9. Let me see which one it is.
Oh God. Okay.
Let's see. Officer Talk. Here we go.
Still worth doing it, I think.
Let's see.
At least
You're
trying.
fresh right now.
He's not in District 13.
That is true.
He has
Out
a
of
warrant
any of us.
for his target's arrest, and the clock is struck 13. So 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 6, 7, 8, 9. Actually, no, that would be 10, wouldn't it? Ordinarily, yes. Because it's increased by 2 for each of those circumstances. So base of 6. So he has a warrant, which is an 8, and the clock is struck 13, which is a 10. So
Yay.
the pain's
Cool.
going to be 10 that I'm going to be rolling for this. Welcome to
And
your
can
first
I
use of
add
your
any-
madness talent.
I'm still gonna do it.
You can use up to 6 madness dice if you wish. Before you roll, you may add an exhaustion to your exhaustion total.
I feel like this has been a very exhausting situation.
Mm-hmm.
That's a permanent exhaustion, I assume.
Yes. Yeah, so you do up that on the character sheet.
And then 4. Because that gives me 8 dice against his 10.
Mm-hmm. It's not bad. Okay. I am going to roll my 10 pain.
I got 5.
Okay, you got more successes than me. You got 1 more success than me. You beat me by 1.
Oh.
However, it is abundantly clear that pain is dominating. So whatever this is, it's going to be hard won. It's going to be very painful. You think you can just barely see a thing here. So based on, again, this is information you do not know. Okay. Everything kind of slows down for you for a moment as you're analyzing crap. There are 2 robots behind you. They are on treads. This floor is probably not while it is meant to be stable, this thing was only put up here recently, so it's actually going to take them a hair longer to get into position than it seems. So the question is really outmaneuvering. The first thing is to outmaneuver the robots. Now, in order to do that quickly enough to get out the door, they're probably going to need to be distracted by something, so you're probably going to want to do something along those lines. Something that will pull the robots away so that their treads are in the wrong direction. When you run out the door, you might all be able to make it out just in time, but they will be on your heels.
Treads,
And
huh?
that is what you are seeing in your mind now, Lana.
And door, you mean the one that's...
There's 1 remaining exit. It's this big open entrance.
And is it where I hear the clockwork from?
Yes,
Or is it? Okay.
they are coming.
Lana is going to yell scatter. We need to distract them and run out the door quick.
Okay. Now, what are Lila and Luca doing?
We scatter.
Is presenting
Yeah.
multiple targets? All right.
Lana's or Lila. Now I did it.
Oh no! we have three
distracting
names that begin with L
everyone.
and end with A. Heavens help us. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just going to talk in first person. I am going to run down, like, maybe an aisle where there's some shelving of some kind,
Okay.
or past the desk, and I'm just gonna drag my tuning fork over any surface where I can make some noise.
Okay, so you're going to come around the desk. You're going to go a little bit deeper into the store. There's not much in the way of shelving here. I will say this store was basically
and
there
I'll
were
just cut
yeah
across the desk.
yeah they were hovering. Imagine, if you will, kind of like at best the setup for like an Apple store, where there may be a table or two. There's like some shelves on the walls, but otherwise, then it's a box. It's just a delightful death box.
Lovely, perfect,
As-
wonderful. Well, I'll just go, toward the desk and ring my fork.
Okay, so you're gonna go around the desk and you're preparing your tuning fork.
Yes.
And are you just going to are you gonna wait, or are you actually trying to engage with any of these folks?
I'm gonna try to strike a sound and amplify it to, potentially push some things away from us as we're scattering.
Okay, all right, good. So you're trying to move things possibly up to and including these robots. Are you? I take it you're focusing on what we have inside here, right?
Yes.
Okay.
One problem at a time.
Okay. That's what you're about to do. I need to know what Luca is about to do.
That's a good question. I have a question.
Yeah.
So, my madness talent says that I can animate paintings. So,
Yes.
if I were to draw something that was inanimate, would I be able to pick it up?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm going to use my madness talent. Then how do I do that?
Okay. Well. All right. Now that I know what you're about to do,
Yeah.
I'm gonna cycle through real quick, to get this done. And Lana already basically did a thing, so I'm gonna resolve Lila's thing first, real quick. Ah!
We lost Pope.
We lost Pope. At least temporarily. So let me go ahead and put us on the backup screen, which isn't much better. But let me see if I can hopefully he's okay. Let me go ahead and maneuver real quick so that we have some semblance of existence. Let me go ahead and fix this. Wait,
Oh, here comes Pope.
here we go.
Now, the treads that these things are on, are they metal wheels, or are these like what kind of wheels are these things operating on?
Metal and rubber.
Rubber. Okay.
Yeah, these things are made of metal, rubber, and plastic. Basically, these robots. Let me resolve Lila's thing real quick so that we can get this done. You are tuning up against the robots. This is grid. This is a grid. These are two grid constructs. So it's going to be a pain of 6. You want to just disorient them, I take it. Just disorient and move things in the room as well. Disorient them, move crap in the room, yes?
Yes.
Okay. That's not going to be
Aiming
too...
for that distraction that was called
Yeah,
for.
exactly. That's not going to be too tough. You're going to need to roll a minimum of 2 madness dice, but you may roll more.
Okay.
Okay, I'm rolling my 6 pain. Okay, you got 5 successes. I got 2 successes. Let's see. Oh yes, I didn't resolve the pain dominating from last time. We'll get into it. Well, no, they'll be on your heels, so that kind of was part of it. We'll keep going. Let's see. So, let's see. What do we have dominating right now? Looks like exhaustion is dominating. So, you're going to need to up your Where is your exhaustion right now, by the way?
3.
Oh, okay, yes. So you need to up your exhaustion by 1. So this is going to be time. You know, what you're doing is require a lot of focus. And you're like, oh, God, why am I in this situation?
Yeah.
And so what does this look like as you are distorting things in the room?
It looks like it probably is more of a feeling and a sound than a visual thing. But that sort of like feeling you get when like there's a big bass woofer. she's striking. It should be a high-pitched sound from the tuning fork, but she's turning it down and pushing it out.
Okay. This is coming out. This is sort of coming out from this tuning fork. These waves are reverberating, and you can tell their treads are starting to like. These robots are wobbling back and forth as they're trying to move in one direction or another. They're having trouble. Luca is drawing something.
Mm-hmm.
You have to draw it quickly. But what are you doing?
That's fine. I have my drafting pencil. You know, I can just sketch it out real quick. I'm gonna get just like a bucket of nails. Then I'm gonna pull this out and toss it all over the floor in front of the robot's treads.
Are you doing this on like a sketch pad or like the floor?
Just a flat surface.
Oh yeah. You've got a floor right here. There's a floor, it's tables. Okay, you can race over. You're gonna draw a bucket. Okay. And I figure since this is rushed, this might even look slightly Picasso-esque when you pick this thing up. Let's see. You're gonna need a bucket of nails. Should be pretty simple. Shouldn't be too hard to draw. Shouldn't be too hard.
Messed up nails are probably still sharp, so sketch it real quick.
So I'm gonna say you're gonna need to roll at least. And again, this is so before I say, you're going to need to use at least 2 madness. You may use more if you want.
2.
Again, this is the pain is only going to be 5 because there's already stuff happening to them.
Okay. Oh shoot. That's permanent madness. That's not what I need to do. Yeah. So I press roll and then I do 2 extra madness.
Yes.
Okay.
Oof. Well, let's take a look and see what happens. I'm going to roll my 5. Okay, I got 3 successes. You got 1 success.
Not great.
So let's take a look, and let's take a look at what's dominating. 6 and a 5 in madness. Madness is dominating. Please check off a response.
For fight or flight?
Yep.
I only have flee, so I'm going to flee.
Okay, excellent. So your flight response is kicking in while this is happening. And madness is dominating this situation. So you're going to successfully draw this bucket. You're pulling it out of this drawing and flinging it, and the nails go everywhere.
Oof.
They're raining down. So the robots are kind of distracted by this. One of them is having trouble, but even with the nails in their path, but there are now nails now floating. Just basically are now sort of some of them sort of floating around the room, as it were, just sort of just scattered, and some of them got caught in Lila's blast and shoot out.
Oh.
And I think that anyone in front of the desk is going to get even just slightly nicked by
Listen, it's not a trip to the Mad City with Lila if someone doesn't get stabbed.
That's fair. So there is stabbing coming. But the robots are in fact distracted, so it was successful. However, I do need to do the one thing. I won the thing. So in addition to madness dominating, I get to extract another thing. I get to extract another cost. So Luca, please increase your exhaustion by 1 as well.
Okay.
And that is where. So this is both tiring and maddening. And
So
you
how
want to
many
flee.
permanent madness do I take?
Oh no, you don't take permanent madness.
Oh, okay.
You just check off a response, and then after you hit 3 on the responses, 3 responses, when you would check off a 4th, that's when you gain permanent madness.
Okay.
Right now you're taking an exhaustion.
Now you're just taking a permanent exhaustion.
Cool beans.
All right. So the distraction is happening. What are we doing?
Running?
Yeah, run.
Anna is headed to the door.
Okay. You all bolt for the door. And this is just as you kind of will see sort of coming from down this sort of this very high-tech, as you're looking into this high-tech environment, as you both sort of dodge around these robots, dodging nails as they try to get you underfoot. Kicking nails out of the way. It's this very high-tech boulevard. Sitting on it is an old-fashioned, like, turn-of-the-century police paddy wagon. And coming out of it, you see something like, they're like almost damn near a dozen clockwork policemen. They're stepping out that are coming toward, that are running toward, they're not right there, right? They didn't park right outside. But they're very close. And they are running in your direction. You see, just outside of the vehicle, stepping out from the vehicle, this very large figure. Lila, you have seen this person shattered to bits before. He looks slightly different. He has been rebuilt. So he still is about 8 or 9 feet tall. He still has a clock for a head. The clock looks slightly more silvery, somewhat more streamlined than it did the first time around. Springs wound tighter, if you can imagine that. He's got like sort of near his eyes, he has these sort of the stopwatch thing going that's ticking down. And he has once again this mouth that opens into a grin with gears behind it. Officer Talk is going to lean forward and bellows, "Mendelssohn, you're under arrest!"
Do I get the feeling that I can talk this guy down? I am an attorney. And it also is my exhaustion talent to have the ability to convince people to see things my way. So I think in response...
This being... I understand. Mm-hmm. I do understand. I will tell you. This is probably one of the most intimidating law officers you have seen in your life. So... it might be possible but it is going to be incredibly difficult.
I'm still gonna try to save Lana from this clockwork abomination of a police officer.
10 pain.
God, okay. I meant Lila.
Sure. Yeah. And you're going to use your
And yourself, presumably.
exhaustion talent to try to stop
Yes.
Officer Talk
Yes.
and talk him down.
Yes. Would you like me to RP it first?
Well, we'll need some of that. Yeah, we'll need to do that. Yes, we'll start the RP on it, and we'll see kind of where this is going.
In response to the extremely intimidating clockwork police officer, Lana, the right name this time, stands up like she's in front of a courtroom. And she goes, I think, sir, this may just be an understanding. Could we, a misunderstanding? Could we maybe talk it out amongst ourselves and work out a little deal?
His immediate his immediate response is going to be arrest them all.
Hey, no!
Aiding and abetting.
I mean, I helped her get out here to you. I really think this is just a misunderstanding. That you don't need to arrest any of us.
All right.
I am a citizen of the Mad City. I know my rights. You cannot just... No.
All right. So we're going to Lana is going to be against 10 pain. This is your exhaustion talent, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So are you going to I'm going to presume that this is a major use of your talent rather than a minor use. I'm going to guess that, but you can tell me if you want it to be a minor use instead.
No, I think given my formidable foe, it should be a major use.
Okay. I need you to increase your exhaustion by 1.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to write myself a little note that I hope I will see in a moment when I'm calculating things. And so you've increased your exhaustion by 1. So this means you're going to have what is your exhaustion right now after
2.
you've increased it?
2.
2? Okay. So you're going to have at least 2 successes plus anything that you roll. So you've got 2 successes already. And you may, again, you may, when it asks you for madness, you may roll from 1 to 6 madness. That's up to you.
I think I need to add some.
All right. Well, yeah, that's basically when you roll, it'll ask you how many madness you want to add.
I'm gonna go with 4 again.
Okay. All right. You got 5 successes. I will now roll my 10 pain. We tied. Now, the good news is that ties do go to the player. Also, it seems that discipline is dominating. Look at that. I'm going to spend a coin of despair to take away one of the 6s
Mechanics.
in your discipline pool, giving you all a coin of hope. You may want to review what hope does. That's going to be in the in the rules summary handout that I've got there in Roll20, at the bottom of that. Just a moment. So you folks have got 5 hope now. So now pain is dominating. I can't get another coin out of that because I can't spend a coin to get a coin. So it will be hard won. Officer Talk says, I see. Well then, step aside. And we will take our perpetrator... Very well, step aside and we will take our perpetrator down to the station, where you may accompany her. You are her attorney, I take it.
Yes, I'm her attorney. I will take or follow you to the lockup.
Very well. Now, while Talk is distracted talking to Lana, and these clockwork cops are also kind of distracted because they do just basically what he says. Lila, Luca, what are you folks doing? Are you just waiting for this to resolve, or are you doing something else in the interim?
Kinda. We just got threatened with arrest.
You did. What are you doing?
Lila, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm just probably trying to slow these wind-up toys down a little bit.
Okay. Are you using your madness talent for that?
Yes.
Okay. Just had to check.
You're still using your madness talent in front of the cops?
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Hell, I'm not.
Why would I stop now?
If I cooperate, maybe I can go home.
Oh, well. So, tuning fork still vibrating.
Yeah.
So what is your aim here with the madness talent? What do you want to do with it? All right, are we shattering things, or are we just slowing things down, or how big an effect are we looking for?
I'm just unwinding those keys in their bags.
Okay, so you want to shut them down?
Yes.
Okay.
Or at least, help them run out of steam.
Okay. These are individual clockwork cops.
And there's a lot.
Yeah, there are a lot of them. There are many, because there are 10 of them. They're only 1 pain each. Unfortunately, there are 10 of them. So this is still going to be a pain of 10. So the amount of madness you're going to need to roll for this to shut them down, I'm going to say you need to roll a minimum of 4 madness to get the keys to unwind. And if I remember, you can increase your exhaustion beforehand if you like, but that's entirely up to you.
Oh, that's probably going to happen all on its own.
I mean, you never know. Remember, you can roll up to 6 madness if you like.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. You got 6. Oh, you know what? Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm going to do something here that is slightly weird with the mechanics, but I just remembered something. And that is that, Lana was just using their talent in a major way, and so they actually had 7 successes, which is like 3 more than I had instead of just 1 more. It's not going to be a huge difference. Things are still happening as they were, but I'm going to actually toss you an additional success. Out of as though Lana is helping from that one in her discipline pool. I'm going to go ahead and roll my pain. Keep in mind we have 5 coins of hope. Should the group let you want to add successes from it? Here we go. 3, 4, 5, 6, technically 7. Although you might not need it. And Roll20 has decided.
Yeah, it hasn't.
It's panicking. I got 6 successes. And even without that additional success, you still would have won because the tie would go to you. Looks like pain's probably dominating. It is. Okay. I'm going to take a coin of despair. And so, what does this look like?
I just subtly, with my hands down by my sides, am tapping a tempo that gets slower and slower, and their gears start slipping as they unwind a little bit, and they're just not gonna move as fast.
So these let's see, pain is dominating. So these clockwork cops kind of start slowing down. They were running toward you, and they're like, and they're starting to move more jerkily, more slowly as they're running in your direction. It's almost like you've got 10 of the $6 million men trying to run toward you. So you've got $60 million worth of gear running toward you, as it were, in TV money, in 80s TV money. And they're slowly their keys are winding down, and Officer Talk is just sort of looking, seeing this, and he clearly is about to react to it. But let me ask Luca, what are you doing?
I am not doing anything. I would want to cooperate so that I can hopefully get out of this.
Okay. All right.
I think that ship has sailed, my friend,
Well,
with your two friends.
They are. I think that, Lana has possibly talked down the aiding and abetting charge. But, Lana, you will see that Tok looks and sees what Lila has just done, points at her, and says, "Resisting arrest!" And is, now going to leap out and start charging toward Lila himself. Because clearly his officers aren't able to do it.
This is like Lana's worst courtroom nightmare right now.
Yep.
And we're all in the courtroom.
How dare you not control your client?
I watch way too much court cam where there's like suspects, I guess, just tear out of the courtroom. That's what I feel like is about to happen with Lila.
Is Lana doing anything?
I would like, as dumb as this is Lana's first instinct to help Lila, since talking him down only helped for herself and Luca. She wants to try to jump on his back as he's charging towards Lila in hopes of like being able to keep him from her.
Oh, this will be great. Okay.
Lana has no self-preservation is what I'm learning tonight.
It would so appear. Okay.
I'm not letting my friend get got.
All right. Once again,
which is really anti-district attorney, but you know.
Once again, it's 10 pain that you're going to be rolling against.
Okay.
And if you want, you can increase your exhaustion beforehand. That's up to you.
No, I'm just going to roll more with 4 madness dice.
All right. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Ugh. You got 4 successes. Keep in mind before we describe, I have 5 successes. Do you want to use the hope pool?
And I would only need to use 1 potentially to tie you.
That's correct.
If I understand correctly. I think it would be a good idea, gang, but we're a team.
Go for it.
Okay, here, Jim.
Okay. Well, no, I don't get it. It just goes out, thankfully.
Oh.
It doesn't bounce back and forth that way. But
that works even better.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll give you a few more spare tokens before we're out of this anyway.
You never know. You have matched. I have to see what's dominating still. So yes, you've matched the successes, which means you're going to just barely beat it. So. Let's see.
If I can annoy him and Lila can get away, that works for me.
That's absolutely true. Right now, how evil shall I be here? I could be kind of evil right now, if I wanted to. right now, let's see. Right now, technically, pain is dominating. So I could just take that. Or I could spend one of these to make madness dominate.
Right. Either is fitting for the situation in
Yeah.
Lila.
I think so. I'm going to do that. I'm going to make madness dominate. I'm going to spend a despair. And so please check off a response.
Well,
Okay.
Lana.
well.
I have two.
Oh,
I
no,
have
this-
two
this is-
boxes.
This is Lana. This is
I'll
Lana.
have one left after this. My 2 boxes remaining are both for fighting.
Yeah, this is just this is just Lana who has to check off the
This is
response.
for Lana.
Oh, I see.
The other L vowel
Lana.
name. Oh wait, that's all 3 of us. Anyway,
Yeah.
This is working out so well. No. But Lana, which response are you checking off?
oh, well, I only have fight or fight.
Oh, okay. Well, I
Yeah.
guess we'll go with fight.
Everybody's so violent.
So your adrenaline is surging as you leap on this on this giant clockwork policeman, and you are actually holding him back. You're managing to hit him.
Lila, run!
You don't have a weapon, so you're not doing much in the way of damage, but you are distracting him. And she just.
I'm making his life difficult. I have accomplished what I set out to do.
Ah! All right. So Lana is now temporarily, for a few seconds, restraining Officer Tak. Lila and Luca, what's happening?
Direttore, where is my mio amico De Vernici?
So, interesting that you should ask. It's rolling in. Madness is dominating. Rolling in at the end of the block. Moving forward. You can just see it because he's been following you. Of course he has. You can see him. He's actually just turned in. He's now rolling toward the car. And he's very close. He's fairly close.
Bene. We'll wait for him to come, and I'll just like point towards the officer talk. Be like, get off! Get off!
So, yeah.
You are,
Lila needs to get out of here.
no, we all need to get out of here. You get off!
Well, we have it.
I
Go ahead.
I will. Once Lila is down the block away.
Okay, so what's Lila doing? Just so I'll know. Lila, you also see that the creature is coming.
I guess I will just start moving away from the clockwork.
Okay. Well, I have an important question for you now. You're outside. You're all outside. I need to point this out.
Delightful.
The city is changing.
Mm.
So, something that is happening right now, as you are looking around, and you finally are seeing your surroundings here, is that the grid is not moving, which is interesting. Things about the grid are moving. You see certain buildings are starting to shift a little bit. Some of in the distance, a cube is moving slightly across the landscape a little bit. There's an archway that starts to form. Some of the neon signs start changing a little bit. So things like that are happening. Little things. But the grid seems fairly stable right now. Looking up and above, you can see the rest of the city is doing a bit of a circular shuffle.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're like a couple blocks in, so you can't see the market district from here. You can see that or at least where it was when you came in. You will note that the penitence district, as far as you can tell, those churches and all seem to be moving all a bit to the left.
Sorry, not sorry.
So that's kind of what it's looking like right now. You have just on the street that goes from Penitence District to outskirts, Behind you, the outskirts are changing a little bit, but they always do that a little bit. And you've got, again, several blocks. You're only a couple of blocks in from the Penitence District. A couple of blocks in from the Market District. What would you like to do? Where are you going?
Toward some sort of landmark that isn't moving.
Well, most of those are within the grid.
Yeah.
Are you staying inside the
I'm
grid?
not going to go too far because I have been through that mess before.
Okay.
If we
All
stay
right.
in the grid, they find us. We need to leave the grid. If we get on a moving piece, then maybe it moves someplace further away and we can leave this and it make it harder for them to find us. Yes?
You need to tell me where to run. I'm a little
shot.
busy here.
What is moving
Find
past
something
us?
to hang on to.
Yeah.
So, if you run a couple blocks, it's past Officer Talk, but you can take a side street around him. So I'm imagining in front of you, you're facing inward toward where the clock tower is at the center of the city. Clock tower is still there. It's spinning a little bit, but the Penitence District, there are churches that you can see just the tops of them anyway, moving. So church-looking buildings. They're not all necessarily churches per se. They're moving, sliding to the left, and that's the first thing you see. If you get to where you can, I will say, do you try to get into a position where you can see into the Market District?
I don't think it matters. I think we're just trying to see what's moving within our vicinity that we could get to before it moves out of the way.
Gotcha. So that would be the Penitence District. I am going to say is if you sort of glance to your left at some point somewhere and trying to look down the streets, the Market District looks like you see the Market District getting torn away and sailing into the ether. Something is messed up with the Market District right now. There is void where the Market District should be right now.
Let's not.
It might
go
be
there.
flying around a little bit in that void. You're not sure.
That one's a big no-go for me. I'm voting no against the void.
What about the church, the penitence district? If we catch it, then wherever it go, we will go with it.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, it's not moving too fast. You could probably catch it if you run.
Where's better than here?
So you're going to circle around and head toward the Penitence District? Is that what we're doing? Okay. So, Officer Talk is distracted. You are running, Lila, in that direction. After you have figured this all out, the moment you figure this out, Luca, you will see that the paint creature has reached the area just behind Officer Talk.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you wish, you can have something happen.
Lana will have let go and started
I'm
running.
continuing to tell Lana, get off the clock.
As soon as she sees Paint Friend or Paint Monster, I haven't quite decided what she's going to call him. The paint guy. She lets go, gives him a little wave and runs off, not wanting to envision or have any idea what he's going to do to the clockwork guy.
I'd like to invoke a major use of my madness talent.
Well, madness is flat basically. Exhaustion is minor and major.
Well, it says the most powerful part of the madness talent involves the paint rot golem.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to use
absolutely.
that to have him try to envelop Officer Talk.
Excellent. Yeah, something like this, depending. Do you want it to try to? This is kind of important. Do you want it to? What do you want it to do to him? Do you want it to just hold him, or do you want it to actually actively damage him?
Actively rot him if humanly possible.
Okay, you're gonna need 6 madness pull this
Okay.
off. Again, this is pain of 10 that I'm going to be
Okay.
rolling. All right. I will roll my 10. You got 4 successes right now. I've got 5 successes.
Oof.
Use a. Look,
Hope coin?
yeah.
Can I use a
Okay,
hope coin?
I'd like to use a hope coin.
They don't
Right
do
on.
any good for us to have them sitting in our pocket.
All
That's
right.
true.
We are now matched for successes, which means it goes in your favor. So,
Okay.
madness is dominating. That's because you've got 2 6s there. So, please check off a response.
Okay.
Which response are you checking off?
I only have flight.
Excellent. So your flight instinct is really kicking in at this point.
Uh-huh.
It's surging
Appropriate.
as the paint creature advances. What does this look like?
The paint creature, whenever it moves, whenever it walks or glides or whatever it is that it does, I assume that it walks, but it's got these like big clomping feet, and every time it takes a step, it leaves behind just a streak of paint in its wake that's in all these different colors. And as it comes up on Officer Talk, it'll grab hold of him with its like gigantic paint hands, and you just see this black rot start to go across him in like a spider web, sort of. Like, you know what like mold looks like when it's sort of like creeping over a wet ceiling, sort of like that.
All right.
Lana would be traumatized, but Nash thinks it's the coolest thing ever.
Oh. And I take it you're also are you sticking around to see this, or are you running?
Who?
Oh. Yeah, which one of us?
Anyone?
No. Lana has started running.
Okay.
Luca will stick around to watch it for a little bit until he realizes, oh shit, I should probably not be here, and then he'll run, because he's a little vindictive in so much as he's just woken up and realized that everything that he's known for the last year is a lie. So he's not feeling his best. So he's like, yeah, I want to destroy everything that's taken everything from me, but then it's like, oh shit, I should run. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. You are all... So Luca takes a second and is looking at this. And as this realization goes, and madness is dominating, your flight response is kicked in, and you do feel this kind of sort of connection where it's just sort of like, yeah, the paint creature, you didn't have to say a word to the paint creature, and it just did exactly what you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
You flee. You are all fleeing up through the city blocks of these high-tech buildings. Give way to these moving streets as you're heading up there. Let's try this one. See how that goes. You see before you the edge of the Penitence District. It is shifting around. You can get actually a fairly decent shot from here, from the edge here. So, some weird things are happening, which mostly weird for Lana. As the Penitence District is moving, you have some options. You can try to run into where the buildings are. There are some structures that are moving their way out of the Penitence District and moving over into the Financial District. The Financial District looks like it's warping. There's some major changes going on in the financial district. The buildings are all kind of like, it's almost like accordions are going up and down for some of these buildings. They're just shifting and changing the way that they look. The financial district is transforming. Lots of buildings in there are crumbling, and newer buildings are starting to come up inside them, almost from within. So it's something, some major shift is happening with that district. So you have a choice of what's in front of you. You can dive left. You can also see, by the way, to your left, the market district is flying around out there. You're not sure where it's going to land. You can also, looking ahead to the clock tower, you see the re-education district. These mighty school buildings lifting up and starting to drift toward the clock tower square. Like the whole freaking district. This massive district is moving and turning. And, but immediately in front of you, your choices, I should say. Penitence. If you run to the left and jump, you can probably make it onto the Penitence district. Cars, by the way, are still moving back and forth along the roads, just so everyone knows. They're having a few issues. They're turning where they can, where they need to. Some of the streets are changing a bit, but the main rings are still there, so they're doing their best. So you can try to get across the street to the Penitence district. You can try to run down the street that goes in between the Penitence district and the Financial district. Or you can try to hop to the right into the morphing Financial district, if that is the direction you folks are wanting to head. What would you like to do?
Lana looks at Lila and Luca. You're the experts. Luca, it's so unlike you to be speechless.
Morphing sounds bad. I'm just gonna say that the morphing district sounds bad. I am always a fan of the Penitence district, but I feel we should maybe go someplace they do not expect us to go. I live there. If they see I run home, they come find us easily.
That's
yes?
the first place they'll look.
Exactly.
So, financial district?
Financial district, yes, see.
Okay. Make a run, trying to get across the street to the Financial district to your far right, as it is slowly coming up. Even the sign for the Financial district is morphing and changing. The sign is actually losing letters, so it might not actually be the Financial district when it's done.
Says Finkel.
And it's done cooking. So, this is mostly just a for safety thing. Who's in front? Who's running in front?
I assume
like
Lila
it was
was in
me.
front. Yeah.
Lila was probably in front, so Lila's leading. Others may
Lana,
assist
she
if they
is.
wish. This is mostly just to successfully get into the Financial district without getting hit by a car or missing your target or a piece of the city changing and getting in your way, that kind of thing. The pain is going to be, I'm going to give this a pain of 4.
Okay.
And Lila's going to be the one primarily rolling. Anyone else who wants to help may roll and we'll just take your discipline, but if you do help, then any result of the roll does also come down on you.
I'm gonna help.
I'm gonna assist.
Okay.
I feel like this is we're running probably like close to 3 across. Almost 3 across.
Okay. So Lana, you just go ahead and roll. And
I'm
we're only going to
I
look at
gotta
your
pull.
discipline. Yeah, you don't worry about increasing exhaustion or using madness or anything. We're only looking at your discipline for this. Okay, this is very good. 3, 4, 5, 6. This is more dice than I'm rolling. I got 3 successes. You got 3 more than I did. Let's see. Looking at Alyssa's stuff. Discipline's dominating. So
once.
yeah, discipline is dominating. So this is good news for everybody. So that means that this is not only is this executed with precision, everyone may, if they wish, remove an exhaustion or remove a check from one of their responses.
I kind of want to snap. Just for fun.
You don't have to if you don't want to, but it's up to you.
I'm gonna leave that. I'm okay where I'm at.
All right. You make your way across. You actually get across the street. Despite it's in chaos right now, you're able to. You manage to navigate this intersection without having to worry about any of the traffic cops out here. And you come around. You see it looks like there's a billboard rises up. Looks like an ad for something shining up on the billboard.
Is it a wanted poster? Or
Not a wanted poster. No, it's an ad for sunglasses.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I understood.
No, not a problem. You run in. You run into the district. You're near the edge. You see, sort of on the street corner, you've got like what looks like a bottling plant of some kind is rising up here, and some kind of tower, some kind of radio tower is starting to rise up across the street from you, and kind of just through the back of what used to be a bank. And amidst this chaos, I think you're probably going to see someone calmly walking. It's coming around the corner. This is someone a couple of you are going to recognize, for good or ill. Pope, tell us who we see.
Well, you hear more before you see. As the chaos is swirling, from seemingly nowhere, everywhere, the sound of Living Color's Cult of Personality is playing. As man in the white hat just calmly walking down this street, and then sees the three of you. Makes sure to adjust his vest, smiles widely, and Lila, you see a familiar face. An old face.
In a couple of years, but you recognize it.
Well, you shouldn't be out this time of night.
Lana immediately gets defensive.
It's not safe.
I don't think we can hear you, Alyssa.
Is it ever?
Oh, there's safer times than others. It's 13.
Oh, yeah.
You shouldn't be here.
What are you doing here?
Oh, I have a job. You look like you could use some representation. As he hands you a card. Just says Stranger and Associates. Small print, it says Contract Law.
Okay. Bit
That,
of a career change since last time we met.
Oh, I'm still a writer, but that's a different name.
I see.
hey, Lila. care to fill us in? Or me in?
Danger? Oh, most certainly. For me, that remains to be seen.
Some of us have only been here since 12.
Oh, you came at a bad time. My apologies.
Well, needle noses were gonna get me in the real world, so I ended up here.
No, it's fair.
I don't know if this is any better.
No, it isn't. You are far from home.
Yes. My home is drifted off in that direction. I'm sure I will find it again eventually. Do I know you?
Oh, we've met. Well, not this fast. Well, you've seen me.
I forgive me, I don't remember.
You know Friendly
Oh, see, I know Friendly.
and Pete.
Yeah.
We're all the same. Just slight variations, I think.
Yeah. Luca, I will say, now that you're looking closely, looks like it's the same face, but it's also a different face. That's the weird thing about it.
Did you have something? Did you get work or? You see, I recognize you now that you say, but there is something not quite ringing. I do not know.
My poor friend. There's a stranger in every district.
Oh, okay. I believe you. Is it maybe just my mistake that I did not recognize?
Well, I am a bit more put together. That being said, I'm guessing, Lila, you're going to try and get out again?
I can. Are you going to try to stop me?
Well, that depends. See, today's not a normal 13. Some folks have been mucking about, and not you.
Wait, it's not us?
Oh, you're definitely in esteemed company, as Lila has District 13 after her with every fiber of their being.
Yeah, I might have climbed on the back of the big officer dude.
Yeah, you should probably get out of here, but you can't right now. Not for the next hour. So you're going to have to run or find a place to hide. And I can tell you right now, here is a bad place to be. Market District, something terrible has happened to it.
Noticed.
Re-education's moving about. Once it settles, well, you're good, but you're not that good. Mama's gonna probably be out and about, and you can't deal with that kind of trouble.
Mama?
Mother Wynn. Death herself has a face. And you don't cross Mama.
Wait, her name's not Nix?
No. Mother Wynn and her little hens, her ladies in hating. She may rule the roost of the re-education district, but we all know where she came from. Just looks up at the clock. But yeah, no, you're gonna need to get out and find a better place to hide. Surprised that you haven't reached out to Television Face.
Somebody pulled a fast one on me.
You're getting slower. There's a lot of new folks in town. If you do find yourself somehow in the re-education district, your best hope is to find the professor. He's not one of hers, but he works there. As for, the dead are going to be out and about. You don't want to go there. And the crone is doing her thing, thus the remodeling. I mean, she would gladly make a deal with any of you if you really are desperate to get out, but always know that she gets more out of it than you do. The other choice is to go downstairs. I mean, if you're really going to keep on poking District 13, you might as well make a deal with the king.
I heard he doesn't really want to see me.
Oh, he doesn't really hold a grudge except for the paper boys.
How many people have you pissed off during your time here, Lila? Because I feel like the more we talk to this nice, strange man or person...
Oh, I'm not nice.
You're offering us a lot of information we didn't ask for.
That's because of my job.
Okay, so this this person...
Stranger,
yes. Strange person.
Informative stranger.
Infi is much shorter than me. I'm D.
How do we know we can
Nice to
trust
officially
you?
make your acquaintance.
You don't.
Maybe.
Because the last time Lila was friends with something, it got us trapped in a antique store.
Well, to be fair, I mean, everybody wants a piece of somebody that's awake. It's just some of us have evolved in our view set. Others, they just literally want a piece of you. They want to eat you. Some want to use you, experiment on you. But I know what you're good for. You can make moves. Just like the crone knows. Just like the king knows. So there are plenty that are interested in making a deal. Broadcast. It's moving up in the world, but not quickly enough to be significant. So you really have a choice between the ones that actually care about the awake are crone and king. King doesn't hold a grudge, he just wants. Crone holds a grudge, and she's better at this than even the king is, though he won't admit it. So the question is, who are you going to deal with? Where are you going to hide? If you're not, and if you're going to get out, well, it ain't going to be here. So you got to move. And I know you're not going to fare well up. So that means down. And down has shifted a lot.
Figured as much.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that there are some old-timey residents that are going to be spat out this night. People that just got evicted due to the crone's moves, as well as the new subway line. They're going to be resentful, hungry. So you need to get off of street level. Down or up. If I'm telling you up, you're not going to live. At least one of you will die. That's for certain.
What is your motivation to help us in telling us to go down? How do we know you are telling the truth, that down is safer?
You don't.
Everything's a gamble here. You win some, you lose some.
Just know that upstairs, amidst all that flotsam and jetsam, all those doors, you open the wrong one, well, it's over. There's plenty of things that don't realize where they are. And it is easy for one of you to say the wrong thing. All of a sudden you find yourself on a plane with a bunch of people that don't realize where they are, when they are. They just see 3 strangers that they are resentful of. And they will tear you limb from limb. That's when it rains around here. One of y'all goes up there and makes friends. So Den's safer.
So what I'm hearing is we have to take a gamble with the creatures that live in the train tubes that may or may not want to eat us, because we definitely don't stand a chance if we stay above ground.
You don't want to go in the tubes. Find the old paths. Stay away from the tubes.
Do you know where the old paths are?
Yeah, almost every building has a basement. Every basement has a door. Every door leads to the old paths. Just follow the pipes, especially the ones that are warm, leaking wax. It's just you're gonna run into a night. I guarantee it. You're gonna have to make a deal. Now, you can call on me with that card. And as you look at the card changes. It's larger now. It's a tarot card. It says the beating. Concentrate hard enough and you want one of us to show up. We'll show up, helpers that represent you. If you need out and you're desperate enough, you can think hard. And you can reach out for help, and one of us will help you. It's just there's a price for that service.
Was his?
Yeah.
What
So-
is your price that you are asking?
Oh, I'm most likely not the one that's going to be grabbing you, so I'm not the one that sets the price. It's whoever of us does. I mean, if you're lucky, he'll be friendly, and all he'll want is, one of you to take him to Denny's or something. But
Gosh, I miss Denny's right about
Where's
now.
Denny?
Oh, Luca, when we get back, we're taking you to a Denny's.
I don't know Denny. You'll have to introduce me.
Of course. That's my point. Yes, we will introduce you to Denny.
Okay.
It's a restaurant, Luca.
it's a time. You end up there. You don't go there. You end up. But no, it depends on which one of us grabs you. They're the one that sets the price. But if you want us to represent you, we can at least make it so that they don't, eat you while negotiations happen.
I am a lawyer. Does that not give me negotiation abilities?
You're not registered with the district. That's the problem. You haven't passed the bar here.
Oh, I never want to take that test again. That was the worst.
Oh, you have no idea.
Wait, nightmare bar is even worse than the real bar?
You have to think where all your nightmares go.
I thought the actual bar test was a nightmare.
No. All
It
of
is
you, your
now.
collective dreams, all that pent-up frustration, terror, it manifests itself here. So
Oh, God.
just think the test that you have to take here.
You know what? I think I will leave it to you, stranger.
There's a reason the financial district's going by the wayside. Too few of us.
Well, I don't intend to stay it's been a fun time. I'm gonna try not to come back.
Yeah, but I don't think you're gonna have much of a choice. You're gonna end up back if you get out. The needle noses are after you, and they do not lose a cent.
Well, that's the opposite of fun. I used
You
to
might
like
have
hiking.
a good time. Yeah, the hiking's nice. Nature's nice until it is.
Well,
We should get going.
So can you
Yeah.
take us to the first of these doors so that we can know where to go? Or
All right, I'll make you a deal. I'll get you to a door. Here's the deal. You're going down. Means you're going to run into somebody of kings. If it's a knight, I'm sorry, you're on your own. You're going to have to make a deal because they're dumber than a box of rocks and only see things one way. You run into a miner. You give him my card. Been trying to get somebody on the inside for a while. Deal?
see, yes.
Yeah.
Right this way. Music changes. My Little Dark Age by Management begins playing. As there's a pep in his step, and he walks confidently as things are still in motion. And there is, in this absolute sea of chaos up here, an old brownstone building with a red door. It begins to paint itself black as he approaches. He opens the door. This is the office. It's well appointed, like a law office, tons of books along the shelves. There's a branch in every district. If you need to wash up before you go hustling off, you can use the washroom right there. Just use the middle tap. The side taps right now, you're either going to get blood or searing hot honey. It's just a thing.
Good to know.
And door that you're looking for, it's the one down there that still, it looks the oldest. Splintered. It's gonna smell awful once you open it, but that's the way up. Fairly certain I'll see some of you again. I hope to, at least. Luca. You really shouldn't go home.
But why?
He just closes his eyes for a second. Warrants out for you for aiding and abetting. They're gonna be at your house. You need to go away, Luca. Or you're gonna have to become something you don't want to be.
See.
All right. Well, I have to go and find if the others are up and about. See if I can find some more wayward souls to aim in the right direction. Don't stick around here too long. If Talk's after you, and we both know he is, he's not going to let something like a door stop him. Or law, really. Which means since you slowed his backup down, Taxman's probably out and about now. Well, see you around. He walks out the door.
And as you are looking around these new digs, as it were, these new place that you have, this office that you have not seen before, and you see that there's, of course, things that descend downward to the basement. You contemplate what your next move is. I think we're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll be back in a few minutes. I'm going to throw an interview on. We will see you shortly. Welcome to the break. I am here with Kimmy from Happy Jack's RPG podcast. We're here to talk about that a bit. Hello, how's it going?
Hey, it's going well. I'm so glad to be here.
Yes, excellent, excellent. It has been forever. It's been many forevers.
So long.
And so, as of this recording, you have recently seized control of the Happy Jack's RPG podcast. And for folks who might not be familiar, tell us a little bit about this podcast that you do.
So Happy Jack's RPG, it's now a network. We're not even just a podcast anymore. We now do streaming and stuff too. Started in 2009. We're like one of the old school legacy content creators in the RPG space. And we've basically been doing weekly or kind of weekly advice shows since then. And then since then, we've also built up to doing a bunch of actual plays, campaigns, and one-shots and things like that. We're mostly focused on non-D&D games. We do D&D sometimes, but mostly it's other games, and indie games is also a big thing. We have a bunch of indie creators and indie designers kind of in our group. It's not really cast pool, even though it kind of is, but we're mostly just friends. All of us met through various things. A lot of us met at Ren Fair, and I used to coach at a nerd gym. So a bunch of the players, like, we're all at the gym there. So we're basically a bunch of like wild, like diverse friends who just like playing games, and then we just happen to have the cameras there too.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, so the first time that I heard about Happy Jack's RPG, it was only a podcast at that time back then. Yeah. Was I want to say like 2009, 2008,
it's
2009.
Like early, 2009 was our first year, so it was like season 1. I remember like you like being involved so long ago.
Only the tiniest bit. It was weird because I was doing a podcast at the time. I was doing the Great Debate, this thing where I just am being very silly, being my characters arguing with each other. And I got out of the blue, I get this email from Stu, and it has a bumper on it for my podcast. And I'm like, okay, I gotta check these people out. And I want to say, I think the first episode I ever listened to had you on it. The first episode I listened to beginning to end, where you were talking about a campaign. I think that you I think might have been running.
Maybe, yeah. Possibly. That was about the time as my first try at GMing was in there. So there's a lot of stories in there about that experience. It's like 13 years ago. That's wild.
Yeah. It's like the only thing I remember, and this may be way off, I may be just reaching in and grabbing the wrong memory, because that happens to me sometimes, is like from that is like there was a character named, I think, Lanelony, and that's like all that I've got left.
That's actually really good. It's Nunelony.
Nunelony. Okay.
Yes. So, and that's a name that's inspired by Elvish. That was one of my original MMO characters.
Awesome.
Like forever ago, and she's kind of in a lot of stuff. I'm actually playing a D&D campaign with that name right now. So.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And
that's amazing though, because my DM can't remember her name, but you did from 13 years ago. That's amazing.
I don't know how it happened. It's because it's probably the first episode I listened to, and so it just sort of stuck.
Yeah.
But thank you also for giving me the right way to say it, because I'd had, for some reason I transposed the letters in there.
Yeah.
But nice, awesome. So how did you first get involved in this podcasting thing?
Well, my friend Stu started the Happy Jacks RPG podcast. We're really good friends. We performed together at the Southern California Renaissance Fair. So a bunch of us were in different bands that all performed on the same stage together. So we'd have like 3 or 4 shows a day. And between those shows, we just kind of sit around and hang out. And a lot of us ended up just sitting and talking about tabletop games. And at the time, we were 4E had just been released or was coming out soon. And so we were all kind of like excited about a new edition of D&D, and we were talking a lot about it. And we had a recording studio where we were all recording the albums for our bands anyway. So Stu was like, let's start talking about it in the recording studio and we'll make a thing called a podcast. And I was like, what is a podcast? Because it was 2009, to be fair. Like, so we started doing that. And at first there was just like a couple of us, like 4 of us. And then over the years, like we've kind of built up. We started doing actual plays. Then I really got interested in trying to have us do streaming stuff. So I kind of took over the reins of like scheduling and a lot of the video content. And then slowly but surely, I've just sort of been like taking more and more management stuff on my plate. I thought it was because I was so good at it. And Stu was like, oh yeah, no, you just do it better. But it's really been like Stu burning out over the last like few years. So like, I mean, to be fair, like 13 years is a long time to do a thing. So like I just got more and more like kind of like the manager of everything. So I've been the first mate, as it were, running the ship for the captain. And so he finally was just like, okay, my kids are in high school, they're leaving the nest in a couple of years. I want to spend time with them instead of like doing a podcast every week. So do you want to take it over? And I was like, yes, please, I'll do that. So it's just like a slow accumulation of power.
Yeah. No, but that's great though. No, and I mean, it's very clear, even I think as a listener, that just that you were progressively doing such a good chunk of the work, more and more as things go on, and it's I just from my own observations on hearing it now and hearing it then, its quality is being kept up. For the whole thing, I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased with it.
Excellent. I'm very excited. We're actually tomorrow will be our first show with like a totally new setup. Like we moved the studio over here, and then I tried some other microphones, and they worked okay, but not great. I'm very, very excited about tomorrow. Tomorrow will be like the real proof of like the excellent quality that can be attained with all the soundproofing I've done in a room. So we'll see. Fingers crossed.
Great. No, looking forward to it. Looking forward to that. Yeah. That's awesome. I think one of the strengths of the show that you can see it now, and this is from now, and this is from even way back then, was the soliciting viewer and listener feedback emails that would come in. I always, for some reason, I myself, I ended up sending in audio snippets for some reason earlier on. It
was super popular in podcasts.
It was
a lot of people do it.
I think I was just too nervous to send in an email and have it read. I think that was the thing, and so I was like, "No, I'll just do it myself." And so that happened, and that was awesome. And that in some ways that in some ways possibly led me to appearing on the show twice. I've been on twice. There was like an 8-year gap between the times that I was on the show. So when I think about another 6 years, that'll be the next time. Anyway,
there you go.
It'll be when it'll be time again. Just so you're aware. No, but,
that's one of my favorite things about the show too, our Friday Advice show. And as we've built up over the years, and it's interesting since we were one of the first podcasts about tabletop RPGs, there were only a handful of us at the time. Like we have like a following from all over the world. So every week we're reading these topics and these emails and these questions and these stories from like New Zealand and the Netherlands and Japan and like all these cool places. So it's always really fun to see kind of the through lines of gamers, no matter where they are in the world. And it's one of the things that I think keeps the podcast interesting and why we still have so many people listening 13 years later. Like we've had some people drop off, but we've had people listening that whole time. And I think part of that is because of like, it's just really interesting to see what these people are having happen at their gaming table and seeing what questions that inspires, and then also just the stories they tell.
I want to say that one of the things that you moved into over the course of the of this thing is also actual plays.
Mhm.
And so I was wondering just sort of what was it like transitioning over to that and expanding out into that type of material?
At first, we were really nervous because we'd been giving advice about how to run and play games for like 7 years at that point. I mean, not 7 years. I guess it was like 5 years. And it was like, oh no, what if they think we're terrible and they never listen to our advice again? Like that was the first like panic.
Yeah.
So Stu and I like were planning and we're like trying, okay, we're gonna have Stork, he's really interesting. And like we're planning out that first group. So I actually wasn't even in the game to start. It was the L5R. Well, we did like a test, which was, oh man, I cringe thinking about what we did. We recorded it outside in Stu's backyard with his dogs running around. We ordered Chinese food in the middle of it and we're like eating it because that's how we were used to gaming. Like we didn't think about it. Like, and then we listened to, like we released it and stuff, and then we listened to it later. Like going back and listening to it now, it's still an amazing game. It has hilarious, amazing role playing in it. But then there's like the Chinese food like getting unwrapped and stuff, and you're just like, oh man, oh little baby AP producer, like you didn't know.
Yeah, and I mean back then also, I mean that was very much par for the course. It was a very fun campaign to listen to.
Yeah. Well, that was the one shot that was
Oh.
I don't remember. It was the LA Ghostbusters.
Oh yes, that one. Yes.
Yeah, I don't remember what system it was in now though. I think it might have been in Savage Worlds or something.
I think it might have been Savage Worlds. That sounds right.
And then that we did it and we succeeded and we were like, wow, we really need to take this inside away from the dogs and we should not eat food. So, but we ended up still eating food in the next one. But we started then the L5R campaign. And that was the big first one that really like launched it. And that was kind of like the staple. And we've now done in that same world with that same family, we've done 3 major campaigns. So it's been fun.
Brilliant. So do you have anything exciting you want to talk about that you have ideas for or plans for the network's future?
Well, we are very excited. We just moved the new studio in the last like month over to my house. Yay. And lucky for me, my partner is in the movie industry. So we've really put a bunch of planning and work into it, a lot of soundproofing, as I was saying. We've upped the microphone quality. We've had some trouble over like whenever you move a studio, you're going to have like ghosts in your system and you're just like, So we've been trying to like troubleshoot. We've had a little bit of echo and stuff for the last few episodes. But season 30, episode 6 should be hopefully like the first like real clean, beautiful audio. And then we're doing a proof test this weekend. We're streaming our first like one shot from the new studio with like all the new cameras we put in and like all the new lighting and everything. We even got a new mini fridge. It's like the joint's been classed up, man. It looks like an actual studio rather than a garage now. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm really excited about just like starting up APs again in person. We haven't done that for so long because of the pandemic. So it's just great to see like new space, looks really great, cameras better, sound quality better, and then like in-person gaming again.
Awesome. That's excellent. So if folks want to find the Happy Jacks Network and just all the stuff that you're doing, where should they go?
Go to happyjacks.org and there's links there to everything. And we're on social media at happyjacksrpg, but if you go to happyjacks.org, everything's there. You can find everything.
Please go check these folks out. I have been a
community member.
Avid
You've been
listener,
part of our
community member, for like a decade, for over a decade. I can assure you, it's great. Please go check it out. And thank you so much for coming and hanging out for a bit.
It's been a delight. I love it. Thanks.
I shall now throw things back to most likely myself doing something. I have no idea what I'm doing because it'll be in the future.
It's fantastic, though. It's great.
I'm sure it's awesome, whatever it is.
Amazing. I love it.
Thank you. Take care, folks. We'll see you all of a sudden. We have returned. We are in the district formerly known as the Financial. It's still shifting around a bit. There is I think there's going to be kind of a thud. However, as it does click into place, as you it's weird when you're in the district. Sometimes it's easy to feel it moving. Sometimes it's not as easy. Lila, you certainly remember the last time you were here. It was very easy to feel the districts moving. They spun like a freaking wheel. This time it's a little more directed, it seems, but also in some ways more chaotic, just more chaotic, a little more slowly.
Singularity is new.
The singularity is indeed new. Although that's something, I don't know if anyone actually said that, I don't know if anyone has actually told you that it was a black hole that's doing it. I think the most the stranger told you was that something has happened to the market district.
Yes.
But you are in the stranger's office. And so you're right now, you're on the ground floor of the stranger's office. You have felt this sort of thud that, Lila, you think is this district kind of settling into place, although it's continuing to move. Buildings are continuing to move inside this district, possibly also this one. But it's at least slowed a little bit, comparatively. So, what are we doing?
That's a good question.
You have at least a few moments of respite. You have a little bit of respite. This office seems fairly well fortified. You're probably safe here for right now. For how long, I can't say. But you have
Lana is going to go to the washroom and splash cold water on their face. Or whatever temperature water on their face. On her face. I'm assuming it's cold, but if scalding hot honey or blood comes out of the other tap, who knows? She will definitely do the tentative, I don't want to burn myself hand stick under the faucet before she goes.
Does the office have trouble with hot and running water at any point? Do we know?
It normally has water, except in transition. That's when you have blood, honey, or the third tap, which is water adjacent. Oftentimes it's like Gatorade. I don't know why. But that's most often what comes out. If you're unlucky, it's Baja Blast.
That's not unlucky.
Turn on the tap and get La Croix.
Yeah.
No. That's too much like water.
It is.
That is water that has been stored near the image of a fruit.
Yeah.
That's not water.
Just you're hoping that the resonance of that fruit is going to rub itself off on the water. Yes. Right now, considering what's happening with this district, yes, the taps are carrying something much akin to Gatorade. In multiple exciting flavors.
Well, in that case, she's not splashing her face with it, but she will probably do the cup her hands under it and drink, because I don't think we've stopped long enough anywhere to have had any water or anything adjacent. Luca was trying to make us hot cocoa, and then we had he had a horrible realization.
Yeah.
So at least it's not hot cocoa, Luca.
And the cocoa got interrupted by, life-shattering existentialism. Yeah. It's fine.
Hey, you too. There's Gatorade coming out of the sink. If you're thirsty, we should probably drink up before we go anywhere. I was hoping it was water. I kind of wanted to splash my face. Lana will come out of the bathroom. Does it, like, nothing harmful happens to me. I suppose I should have thought about this before.
As a result of drinking the Gatorade?
Yes, as a result of drinking the Gatorade.
Things happened after drinking martinis earlier, but I think
drinking Gatorade is
I'm just
like a
paranoid about everything.
contract that you make with your electrolytes.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm willing to make that contract.
Okay. They want on. Yes.
It's like paying your electrolyte bill.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, so that is kind of where we are.
Should we head down, guys?
I guess if that is, he says that is the safest place to go.
Yeah.
I feel like safe is relative.
Yeah. There is, I will say that, Lila, you will, a couple of things on your phone. You will receive apparently a text saying that you have received free coupon for Mad City Exteriors. But you yeah, they do want you to fill out a survey if you want to rate your visit there. The broadcast has not said anything since since you were in that place. It is up to you whether you wish to. But you know, it's up to you if you want to try to initiate contact. But right now, they're probably either they're busy or they're just waiting. Who knows? Who knows what they're doing? You do, however, it's interesting because it feels as though you do occasionally get blasts from radio stations that are cropping up. More radio stations than you thought were in the Med City, actually. It used to be just the tower. But like every now and then things will fade in. You have the smooth jazz, the tower does that and other stuff. The tower usually carries the work of Maxfield Stanton, whose work I have forgotten what genre he does. I will have to ask him. But there are, sounds like a couple more radio stations coming in. Strangely, classical station. There's a heavy metal station. During which you briefly, it's like you're sort of parsing through, and there's this heavy metal song you think it's Black Sabbath, and it's sort of as it's ending, you hear Ozzy say something along the lines of, I tried to tell them, they didn't listen. I said they were coming for him. They just wouldn't pay attention. Hope you lot manage it. And then it goes into a commercial for various fizzy drinks. In your earbud. Your earbud's acting up weird right now. It's picking up a lot of things. That's enough distraction from me. What are you folks doing?
Lana would like to find the door.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Gonna head down into the basement to find the door?
Assuming it has stopped moving enough to proceed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you're now lined up with something. Yeah. You're not sure if beneath the surface is changing too, maybe. Probably in some fashion. Okay.
All right.
So
Downward go.
Yes. So let me see, which thing shall we go with? We can try this one and see how it sounds. So you are going to head down. You see this very amongst the different places in here. The extra doors, of course, are not present because they never are during the 13th hour. But you are going to see this big kind of, looks like almost a metal hatch, essentially, that looks like it's going to lead somewhere. Down in the base. Is there anything else interesting in the basement we should make note of?
It's interesting. There's a number of different jukeboxes from different time periods. A few old pinball machines, and you can see the spine of a number of large novels. They're all the same novel. Cry of Nightmares. The author's name has been scratched off the back of the book. Looks like someone took a nail file and just violently, to the point where the leather, the backing of the book is frayed. And then there's just like, you come down, you finally hit bottom, you're looking around, you're looking for the door, and it's almost like you're in a game show. There's 3 curtains, all relatively door-shaped in size. And that's what's down there.
One that smells bad.
See, he says the oldest one, and it will smell bad once we open it. So, do we look behind the curtains for the doors?
Well, let me do a vibe check.
Okay. Are you checking the vibrations of the area to try to figure out what you're...
Yes, to figure out which one resonates with where we need to go.
Ah, interesting. Okay. So, you're trying to figure out which of these things leads to the right door. I think that the pain will probably be... I'll set this one at, just given that what you're looking for and the vibrations that you're looking for, and given that things have shifted around actually a lot recently, are still shifting around. Yes, we're going to go with a pain of 4.
Okay.
The madness you're going to need to roll for this, just sort of, it's almost, I want to imagine it's like a strange, much more informative version of echolocation. Almost.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. So I'm going to set the minimum madness for this at 3.
Okay.
All right. I am rolling 4 pain dice. You see you've got 5 successes. I got 1 success. And it looks like pain is dominating, so I will take a token. Coin of Despair. So, you feel as though there are options here. it is a little tricky. So, if you... Well, let's see. You have three options. One that seems to go pretty much straight ahead. That is going to take you in kind of more of a loop around the city, if you want to do that. You have one that you think is going to lead toward the outskirts. And then you have one that you think is going to lead further in. Now, last time you were here, the way that version of the Mad City was laid out, the Wax King's territory, if I recall correctly, wasn't that far from the underside of District 13. If I remember right. Which would imply going further in. If you think he's roughly in the same place.
Right.
And if that's where you want to go. But so that might be your best bet. The other options. Let's see. You got 5 successes. I got 1. The one that's more level. Might involve some of the remains of the subway system. So, hard to say. Somebody's drilling out there. Somewhere.
Okay.
Something weird's going on out there, but it's also moving around.
Perhaps best to avoid that way.
Maybe. Yeah, you never know. And then, of course, you have the way leading to the outskirts. It's very sort of cold, and you're getting this sensation of cold and dark, and also, is it excitement? Anticipation? It could be. And it's not exactly glee. It's more of a sensation of manic near rage, but a happy rage from the outskirts. But, again, a lot of coldness and darkness, and so it's perhaps, just a question of what you want to try to avoid if you're trying to head out that way. What do we think?
Well, typically, the best way out is through. So I would generally lean toward heading deeper in, but I could be completely wrong again. What do the rest of you think? And I will sort of give them a rundown of what I have sensed from each of these doors.
Well, my instinct is always, ever since lately, to do the exact opposite of what you suggest, Lila.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of inclined to agree with you. The only way out is through.
It seems reasonable.
But I swear, if this is another trap, I'm not saving you this time.
All right.
Not putting myself in danger for you.
Luke, I will let you know that you think your friend is nearby.
He is here?
Well, I think he's continued following you after doing what he did. So he's done doing whatever he was doing.
Well,
He's around somewhere. You can't see him right now, but he's probably nearby.
We don't particularly want him in close vicinity. We should go. We should go.
Okay. Where are we going?
Clock tower away from the cold and dark.
All right, in the direction roughly of the clock tower, you think. So you're going to reveal that curtain, and you're going to get that door that I talked about. This big sort of hatch-looking door, big metal hatch. You're going to open it up. It does look very aged.
Okay. We're gonna have to pry it open.
Well, wait, hold. Wait. He said splintered, did he not, when he is describing the door?
Hmm.
If this is a hatch, is it not metal?
Not necessarily. Trapdoors can be wooden. But is it metal?
Is this door, is it metal or is it...
The problem is parts of it are metal and parts of it are wood.
Behind
The wood
other
is splintering.
curtain.
Okay. Well, then I feel better about this door. Lila, you and me open the door?
Can we look behind the other curtains or are we only allowed to look behind the one?
Be my guest.
Go for it. I'm gonna stay here. Scream loudly if you need us.
Oh, okay. I would like to look behind another one of the curtains.
Okay. So as as a way to describe, I will not rob Alyssa of her successful roll. However, what I will say is that I think that my instinct is that the other two doors look very similar. But it just looked like a different type of wood for each one.
Fantastic.
You know, Luke, I wish you wouldn't have checked the other one because now I'm questioning everything again.
See, it's
Why not?
fantastico. It's molto bene. It's just go through the one that you had the first instinct of. They are all. It's all the same. Go through your.
It'll
the one
take
you
us
pick.
somewhere away from here.
See.
That's
I don't want to meet the train creature thing, caterpillar thing in the tubes that ate the people in the train. Like, that's not my goal. What? Not that I have a whole lot to go home to. I'd like to go home. Anyway,
Lila, lead the way.
do you need help with the door,
I'm
Lila?
going.
All right, the door is going to open. Enough of this folderol. So you'll find yourselves heading. You open the door.
I don't know that we haven't already been stalled for too long. So, let's just go.
Who knows what's happening? You open the door, and you will see this.
I trust no one, least of all myself.
Fair. See this hallway, sort of concrete on the bottom, bricks on either side, looking like a similar material as the brownstone. And there are lights every now and then along the walls. It is going to slope downward, you note. Now, as you are heading downward, This is interesting. Okay. I'm just grabbing some random locations.
Just consulting the cards.
Just consulting the cards. Interesting. Okay. So, some of the tunnels down here, and these, as you're getting further down, these are going to start looking like they are going to give way into sewer tunnels. And it is very odd because some of the tunnels are shifting around down here. Like you start going down one way and it's and then you see the end of it goes past what looks like a wall, and so suddenly is walled off, or a tunnel connects with another tunnel. It's a little odd, it's a little difficult to navigate. But
I would expect no less at this hour.
you're going in roughly the right direction, but there is a question of the navigation of this. So, navigating the tunnels underneath the Mad City to try to get closer to the inside, try to get to the Wax Kingdom, and during the 13th hour, while the city is shifting. This is going to be a pain. I'm going to set a pain of... I gotta set a pain, I think, of 6 for this. Because this is very tricky. Now, I'm presuming that Lila is leading. Is that correct? Or is someone else in the lead? Okay, Lila's leading. The rest of you may help if you wish. Up to you. I'm going to be rolling 6 pain dice.
I'm helping.
I'm helping.
All right. Much success. All right.
Ooh,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's more dice than I'm rolling. I only got 2 successes.
nice try, coppers.
You never know. Pain is dominating. Well, let me actually look at this real quick to make sure that I don't want to tinker with this. No, pain's dominating. So, you're going to find, and this is where things are getting a bit odd, a little bit. It does start looking, for lack of a better term, slightly medieval down here. You will note that the bricks start looking older and older, and some of them are coated in wax.
Okay.
Some of the pipes, you notice, are coated in wax. You're going in the right direction. You are passing through, however. You come into an area that is... As you find an area that's more stable, fairly wide, you will note that you are coming upon it's strange. There's a big chamber here, and there are people here. And the people that are here look like they have fled from the surface, possibly quite recently. And some of them are like petitioning to get through this very large, round wooden door on one side of the chamber. You see there are a couple of knights standing in front of that door. The knights standing in front of that door, by the way, have a nice thin coating of wax on them, and their eyes are not present. This has been described before in this arc, but not for everyone here. They do not have eyes. They have the ends of candles and glowing with blue flames. And these are nights that are kind of like, how did I describe it? Not purely looking medieval nights. It's sort of more like Halloween Express medieval nights. But they've still got that nice sheen of wax on them. And they're kind of like standing in front of the door, and some of them are like, no, you know. Some of them they might be preparing to let in. They're forming them into a couple of lines. Now, that's one side of the chamber. Now, between here and there, you will note that off to the other side of the chamber, there's this big wall that looks like it's fairly... that they've got... There are a series of barred windows that you see. The windows also, the bars coated in wax. And there are people behind some of those windows. And that too has an entrance that it looks like, you see, there are a couple of people who coated from head to toe in what looks like this candle wax, who are standing kind of outside. You see that there's like a wagon being drawn. That has kind of people shackled up inside. Being drawn across toward this prison. Like I said, it's a very big, very wide chamber. And it also looks like from here, there are a couple more tunnels that lead off into other sort of inhabited areas. But it looks like there's maybe, sort of folks going back and forth down one of the far tunnels. You think you barely see people someone like at a stall of some kind trying to buy something maybe down one of the tunnels nearby. There's some kind of little sort of community happening down here. It's very strange. You did not see this the last time you were through. What would you like to do?
Suppose we could go up to someone near the back of the line and be like, is this the line for the bathroom? And find out where that door goes.
One moment. So, you're going to approach someone at the back of one of the lines, basically, and try to find out. Okay. Let's see. I don't know how trusting random people are going to be.
Are they all random people? Like maybe I might have a bit more familiarity with them.
Maybe
I could try.
Never know. Yeah, there's there are some people. Yeah, actually, I mean, so who wants to be primary contact on this? Try to find someone friendly.
Lila, you or me? What is the thought?
I'm kind of persona non grata around here.
I vote Luca.
I will go.
Luca's going? Okay. You're hunting around to see if you can find someone who will be friendly to your cause in questioning and communication. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are a few things we can do here. I would like to set a pain of... This is a very odd circumstance. They're not going to be trusting of everybody right now because of, well, everything that's happening. At the same time, though, you've been around for a while. So, and you kind of know how to blend in with citizens here. So I'm gonna say that this will have a pain for you of 3. It feels fairly balanced for me. So pain of 3. However you want to set this up.
I guess I can just do a straight roll.
You can. Like I said, if you want, you can increase. Okay. Let's see. I shall roll 3 dice. I have 2 successes. You have 2 successes. Eyes go to you. Let's see. It looks like discipline's dominating too. Okay, yeah, you can, Luca, if you like, you can remove a either remove a checked response or remove an exhaustion.
Okay.
And yes, you're going to. There's like so you've got a few different people you can talk to. You don't see anyone you directly recognize, so it's not anybody you know already. But you see there are so if you're looking around toward the back, you're gonna see a couple of folks that just kind of there's like sort of ordinary schlub type person. There is someone who is like wearing a mink stole, and then you see a person who's like trying to argue with someone actually one of the guards. Let me just take a second. Okay. And you also think you see actually there is so it depends on, well, yeah, it's a big cluster of people, so it depends kind of on who you kind of want to move toward. You want to move toward someone who seems dissatisfied here, someone who seems mildly dissatisfied, very dissatisfied, or just or do you want to move toward someone desperate? Depends, I guess, on the question here.
Let's go with very dissatisfied.
Very dissatisfied.
See what we can do with that. Yeah.
Okay. So you come up to this person who is just basically looks actually dressed kind of in the manner of an artist, almost, one might say. So you kind of recognize that. And she's sort of trying to basically show some drawings, things. It's basically, it looks like she's probably a tattoo artist. Trying to convince this guard of something. You will note that as this guard is, as you are approaching, this guard is basically going to make as if to apprehend this person because they're getting tired of this, and someone is going to step in to try to stop them from doing that. Who do we see stepping in to attempt them from doing that? Oh.
You see somebody in essentially like fisherman's garb and a bucket hat, go, "Whoa there, Wax for Brains. We don't need to start getting handsy."
I don't. And the wax guard is just like it is by the king's decree that any of you
King
are
has
even
to
allowed
abide by
stay.
standard laws.
And he's suffering it's just simply the fact that he's suffering any of your presence here. He can do what he likes. It's his land.
It's his land, not at this moment. Everything's in flux. Do you want me to have somebody that's on speed dial, one of his neighbors, start arching in? I can make that call. Or you can start servicing these people and move them through or off to the side.
They kind of are going to, there's this moment where they're just sort of staring at each other, kind of staring daggers at each other.
Mm-hmm.
And
There's some really hungry hippos down here, and they wouldn't mind munching on a lot of you in this turmoil. Also, the cabbages are out. Do you really want that kind of trouble?
And the guard is like, "We let this one through, will you shut up?"
Depends on who else has my card down here.
And they're just sort of looking, sort of looks at you, looks back. Fine. You're getting a chaperone. No extra dealing from the bottom of the deck until you leave. And just basically gestures to one of the people entirely coated in wax, and they're like hop down and they're gonna shuffle in their direction. And he's like, "Fine, come on." And he puts the woman in the going inside line.
We have a card. Can we also get in through?
Are you invoking a right of representation?
See, yes, we are invoking the right to use the card to get through.
Okay, give me the card.
Lila has the card.
The hand just reaches out.
Lila.
Yeah, so a short person coated entirely in wax. It looks like it's shaped like a person. It's like full white candle wax. Has now settled sort of and is standing a little bit next to the stranger, a little bit behind, and is just standing there quietly.
I need the card if you're going to invoke the right.
Well, do we have to give up the card or just show the card?
No, give up the card.
Oh. I don't. I mean, what if we need it later?
Well, then you can hold on to it and
It's a
not
one-shot
invoke the
item.
right.
I'm realizing this now. Yes, it's not. It's maybe we can get through a different way.
Hey, you want to take your chances down here? More power to you.
Yes. What is the chance we can take to get through a different way?
Well, you'd have to find a different one. And if you're trying to wait through here, I can. Right now, they're in a compromised position. I can either get you through by invoking the right, or you can try and negotiate with, Dashin and Darlin here. But they seem just so chatty.
We don't really want to waste any more time down here than we have to.
Card, please.
Here.
Thank you. Yes, these two are these individuals are my clients. They should be sent on through.
The
Grace.
the wax chaperone will just sort of look from you to the to Lila and Luca and Lana's also present, but their player is not present. And we'll sort of nod for a second, just sort of look over at the card. Just quietly nod, and just kind of we'll sort of point.
All right, you can head over to that line. That'll get you through. Good doing business with you. Devil's gonna be real disappointed.
Yeah. Is there any recognition on the part of this stranger of Lila?
Oh yeah, but Grumpy just does not care.
Understood. So, I think that at this point, yes. At this point, so you get in line, right? Lila and Luca and probably Lana have gotten in line, and the line is starting to move toward the door. Like every now and then, it's like they check someone in. They've sent them through. Apparently, this is the line they're petitioning for sanctuary during the 13th hour, essentially. And you can see that you're only a few people behind. You have only a few more people for them to get through. For them to let you through. And I think that you're going to hear from down that tunnel where you might have briefly glanced and saw someone selling something. You hear the sounds of raised voices.
Uh-oh.
The sound of conflict. There's this moment, there's like... And... Lila, you hear that sound. That sound that you heard before. The sound of metal rolling on concrete.
Oh no.
Sound of blades being drawn and metal hacking against metal.
What is this, Lila?
Trouble from the tubes.
And you hear this laughter echoing from the corridor. This sort of it's different from the laughter of the train eater that you heard. But it still sounds kind of hollow and metallic. Something is coming. Something is working its way through the wax market, if it is one, who knows? Guards are trying to run out and form a line. But it's taking them a moment because they weren't expecting this. People are looking and panicking. It looks like they're turning and they're looking and they're thinking, "Oh God, we got to close the door." The two wax knights are up there, and one of them is starting to turn. Looks like they're looking to close the door, possibly. This is a moment when decisions must be made.
Should we run through the door?
We should go.
Yeah.
We should run.
Yeah, you look over and you see the stranger kind of sort of gesturing.
As he's pushing his other client through.
We run.
All right. You're trying to basically rush through this mob of people before whatever it is arrives.
Mm-hmm.
And get inside. Pushing through, even as they're trying to close the door from the other side. So, let's see. This isn't directly against the thing that's coming. So, this is against a mob of people. So I think we're going to call this... Yeah. I'm going to call this a pain of 5. Who would like to lead?
Can I try to use my exhaustion talent to get people to move quickly but calmly in an orderly fashion through the gate?
Well, it's more than that. It's convincing the wax knights on the other side to let them through.
Well, yes, that as well.
Okay. That's a slightly different thing, then, if you're not trying to rush through. Your exhaustion talent... Remind me what your exhaustion talent is again.
Hypnotic voice.
Hypnotic voice. Okay. So... Let's see... You're trying to convince a couple of blind knights here. And... That's going to be... It's going to be a pain of 6 as we're going against them. And you want them and also the crowd?
Whatever is going to, like...
Because the crowd is bolting and panicking and trying to get through the door.
The crowd is going through the door.
You want the crowd to, it's going to be a pain of 7.
Might as well.
All right. So, is this going to be a major or a minor use of your exhaustion talent?
I feel like with the knights and the panicked crowd, it's probably a major use.
Okay. So remember, you must up your exhaustion before you roll. And
Yes.
then we'll see where we are. Yeah. All right. Seven pain. You got 7 successes. You're doing well. I got 4 successes. You got 3 more than me. And pain right now is dominating. And I'd have to spend a couple to make that not happen, so more despair from me. So, pain is dominating. Lila, what does this look like as you are... Is there something in particular you want to let us know you're doing?
As everyone is sort of surging toward the door, I'm just like quietly, but firmly. It's like another day at the office. It's like I'm dealing with an irate customer on Black Friday. I'm just trying to, I'm giving directions to people around me. I'm telling the knights, this is what we need to do to get everyone through so we can close the door against what's coming. Stay calm. We can handle this.
All right. Keeping calm and carrying on.
Yes.
So that happens. They're like, the knights are like, and they see that you're, the only reason they're not trying to talk over you is that you're also calming the crowd. And they see this, and they're like, and this kind of look, well, it's hard because, again, no eyes. But this sort of look passes forth between you and this knight, where it's like, okay, I see what you're doing. And the good news is that some of these people will make it inside. And if you want, Lila, you and Luca and Lana can also make it inside. But the bad news is not everyone in this line will make it inside, because more people were coming up behind you. And so unless someone gives up their space,
as many as we can.
Unless any of the three of you want to give up your spaces, then there will be, there will still be people behind you, but but you'll make it through. So you are urging people through. You're urging people through. And as you do so, a couple of these things roll into, well, they're people probably ish, are going to roll into the chamber. Some of them covered in blood. They look mostly human ish. Well, I say mostly. I'm sorry, that's the wrong word. Almost human. There we are. They look almost human. These things rolling into the chamber. They look like they have these. Parts of them are certainly metal attached to them. Parts of them look more human. It's like someone was trying to make a cyborg by welding plates onto a person. And they are on rollers. Kind of like the Train Eaters. So they are rolling out, grimacing, metal teeth.
Don't like that.
Shining eyes, skating forward. Studs all over these Are they jackets or are they shells? It's hard to tell. Blades for hands are coming out and eviscerating. And Lila, there's a brief moment, there's a brief gasp where in the back of your mind where it's like you have a brief flashback to just before you entered that tunnel from Anchorage. It was one of these things that was tracking you on the train. And it comes forth, and as you are at the door, it rolls into a stop behind this crowd. They're starting to run, but things are pressing. People are pressing on them, and it just looks directly at you and smiles. Decapitates the person in front of it.
I shove Lana and Luca through the door.
It just killed somebody.
No.
It just killed
Run.
somebody.
And Lila, are you also going through the door?
Yes, because I have to make sure they get out.
As you are doing so, you start to hear, this is not going to stop you from going through the door, but you start to hear a low rumbling coming from down one of the tunnels. And you see this being look up and look around. It's like sort of reveling in the blood and the chaos. And hearing this rumbling, it's like just sort of cackling. It's nigh. It is nigh, it says, pointing again its sword directly at you. You race through the door, and the door is going to slam shut behind you. You hear this rumbling, and inside, Wax Knights are trying to sort of usher people further inside. As you see this hall, stone walls on either side. You hear this, as you're getting toward the far end of the hall, this beating on the door, and the rumbling is getting louder. You're coming into something that's kind of almost like a courtyard, except it's underground, and again in a big sewer chamber. But stone walls. People coated in wax running back and forth, panicking a bit.
Yeah.
A couple of folks are sort of up, looking out. See someone looking out a periscope of some kind. There are a set of them. There are like 2 or 3 periscopes that people are by. Just calling out, "Closet! Closet!" You hear doors and things slamming shut. Right behind you, a portcullis comes down as you enter this larger chamber. And they're there are a couple of knights running and turning and trying to roll this bigger, thicker door into place behind the portcullis. People are abandoning their posts at the periscopes, by the way, and running chaotically. It's a mess down here. As you can see from this point, it's not exactly an Nexus, but you can see from here a few more passageways. You're at a point, you're kind of a little higher up. Some of the passageways go down. There are people running forward, trying to get into the interior more of the Wax King's castle. This rumbling is getting very loud. I would like to know what you folks are doing.
What was that?
Nothing good.
What was it? Why is it after you? What did you do?
I don't know its name. It was just there when I got here.
It chased you. It has to be chasing you for something. What did you do?
I'm always in the wrong place at the wrong time.
That is not good enough. You had to have done something for it to be up. It just killed someone right in front
I've
of
been
us.
here 3 times, Luca. I've done a lot of things. Right now we have other things to worry about.
If I keep following you, will it kill me too? Is something going to come out and kill me too?
Not if I can help it. No one has died with me yet.
Shore up! Shore up! You're hearing people are running. They're starting to carry like sandbags and crap into some of these tunnels.
Fine, where do we go? Where do we go?
Some people are terrified of whatever the people on the post that one more person sort of is going, and he looks in, and you see abject terror on this person's face as they come away from the periscope. They're seeing something terrifying. Something is happening. The rumbling is getting very loud now. What do you want to do? There are ways to go if you want to go further in. There are things to do in here if you want to. If there are people, there are things here.
No, we
if you
have
want
to keep. We have to keep going.
If you're trying to go further in,
Yeah.
I'm going to have one more roll for you to make. Amidst this panic, you're trying to push your way into the interior. Sort of this, into the main stronghold. Wax Knights are panicking right now. Which is not something you have ever seen. Granted, you haven't had a chance to hang out with them very much, but still,
No.
you've been around them enough. Pain is going to
I
be...
don't want to know what scares the scary guys.
Yes. Amidst all of this chaos, pain is going to be 6.
Yeah.
And again, if you're pushing through, and it's again, it depends on... I presume Lila's leading here, but again, you can tell me if that's not correct. Luca may assist if he wishes.
As long as they're still following me.
That's the question, isn't it?
Now, can I, with any roll, put in extra madness die, or is that like?
If you're helping, then it doesn't matter. It's because we're only going to
Okay.
take your discipline.
Okay, then I'll just roll discipline for now.
Sure. Alrighty, so we've got 5 successes. I'm going to roll my 6 pain dice. I also have 5 successes. So it does just go to you. Just barely, once again. And strangely enough, miraculously, it looks like this being as it is, discipline would be dominating. No, I'm going to add a 6 to the exhaustion pool. Exhaustion is dominating. Both of you, please increase your exhaustion by 1. This is very tiring.
Okay.
Very tiring process as you're working your way through.
Yeah.
Just you've been running so much, and
So
You're
many
so
near
tired.
misses.
didn't even realize how tired you were until this moment. As you see, you're pushing through to get through everyone into this big gate as it is slowly rumbling down from above, this big stone wall rumbling down, try to put into place. As you're about to duck under it, you will see panic from one of those tunnels going down as water sprays out from between some of the bricks, which are then immediately dislodged as a massive torrent of dark and strangely flowing water, like a massive fire hose, comes pelting down, washing into that tunnel, flooding it instantaneously and rushing up toward you. You dive under the wall as it comes down and slams shut behind you. And I think that is where we are going to end it for this week. So, progress has been made.
Yeah.
We're still currently in the 13th hour, but that could change very soon. We will have to see how things go. We're going to go around and do our outros. We're getting very close. We're getting very close to some end for this. We'll see. We're going to go around and do our outros. And you can feel free to tell folks where they can find you and any final thoughts you have about this session. And we're going to start with our guest Pope.
Hey everybody, Pope on the Twitter, Pope on Twitch, lurking on your streams and occasionally your screams. It was great to be back here for more Don't Rest Your Head with a Stranger. Got to see a few faces. Who knows, maybe next year you'll see a few more. But it has been an absolute delight to get to play with all these wonderful people. And some of us are rooting for you. Devil's upset, though. D is upset. Didn't hold your end of the deal. Might come back to bite you.
Never know. You never know. All right. And now we are going to head over to Hannah.
I am Hannah, Hanimation Art on Twitter, Hanimation Studios, pretty much everywhere else. And I've never had to deal with the devil gone badly, so I have no idea what Pope is talking about. Anyway, you can find me over on Wandering Society on Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern for some Scion, and then back here on Monday for more of this exciting whatever's going on here. Madness. I cannot wait. I really enjoyed this session. Was particularly rough, but you know what? Sometimes I like it rough, so it's all good.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't know. Sometimes I just I sometimes it's too much, and I just don't. It just,
no, never too much,
yeah.
man. Bring on the horror. Bring it on. If you can make Luca cry, then that's all good.
Oh no! I feel so terrible. But yet, mission accomplished. So, awesome. All right. Unfortunately, Nash is had to duck out. But we very much appreciate them, and hope they are well, and they will be back with us next time. I'm going to go ahead and put their contacts here in the chat. That is where one can find them on the Twitters. And now we will head over to Alyssa.
I have been your friendly virtual spinner of yarns and teller of tall tales. You can find me on the internet at Shawl Tales. And I'm pretty sure Lila has just lost the trust of most of her companions, if not all of them. And if Luca decides to turn her over to the authorities after this, I don't know that I would entirely blame him.
It's tough to wonder why. Why is it that Officer Talk wants Lila so badly? Sorry. Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. This is still the only stream game I have going on. So I'll be back here hopefully next week.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. And who am I? Who am I? Well, until I can answer that question, I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter and various other social media platforms. Where I'm not OtherDoc, I'm Jim Yes That Jim. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. Down below, you can access my website, social media links, YouTube channel, and various other things. Let's see. So tomorrow, provided we're all good, tomorrow should be the finale of our campaign of Cult Divinity Lost. Hollow has been running an awesome horror campaign. It's been an absolute delight seeing we got to see where the reality we were used to stopped and the horrors beneath started. And a lot of people are now, very powerful entities are upset with us for taking away their toys that we did last time. So I'm not sure what's going to happen, but it's going to probably be terrifying in some fashion or another. So very much looking forward to that. This week we're taking off from Dune due to holidays. And then with any luck, hopefully I'm going to double check during this week, but I think if we're good, we should be able to do the Outer Veil this Friday. That group was in the Market District when things ended, and one of their number had just summoned a black hole into the district, which might be perhaps part of the cause of what's happening to the Market District right now. Might be a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. So we'll see how things go. Very much looking forward to seeing how that plays out. And then, of course, 1 week from today we have this. We are getting closer to the end at this point. I'm not sure. It's either this next one or the one after I think is going to be the finale, but I'm not sure. Not sure exactly. Timing is strange. But so much has happened. And the third, as it turns out in this session, the 13th hour stretched out like taffy. So we're gonna see how things go. But I thank you all very much for watching. I very much appreciate it. We are going to send a raid over to somebody. There are a few people who are doing stuff right now. I see that Jackie Dash is on, Lindy is on doing something, probably. I am going to go and double check, and we're probably going to raid one of those folks. But if you would like to come with us, feel free to hang on at the end here. That'll be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.